Okay, so get this.
Okay.
Organizations are facing
Mm-hmm.
an average of 12,247 cyber attacks every single week
Wow.
in 2024.
That's a lot.
It's like a digital tidal wave.
It is.
And honestly, our old school security systems,
Yeah.
they're about as effective as a screen door
Right.
on a submarine at this point.
Totally.
What's the answer?
Well,
AI-powered security?
yeah, AI-powered security is the way to go.
That's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely.
Is it?
So, and it's not just hype. We're seeing,
Give me the proof.
yeah, organizations are seeing a 3.1x return on their AI security investment
Okay, now
within the first 18 months.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
3 times return on investment.
Exactly.
But okay, I'm sure people are listening right now and they're thinking, how much is this going to cost me?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Let's be upfront.
Yeah.
The initial investment can range from $250,000 to $2 million.
Okay, so $250,000 to $2 million.
Depending on the size of the organization,
The size of the org.
how complex their needs are,
Yeah.
it is a significant chunk of change.
Okay, so before you run away
Yeah,
thinking that this is way too expensive,
sure.
what are we seeing from companies that have taken the plunge?
Well, so take JP Morgan Chase, for example.
Okay, JP Morgan Chase.
They implemented AI security
Okay, so JP Morgan Chase.
and saw some incredible results.
These guys are like the Fort Knox of finance.
Right.
If they're doing it.
Exactly.
It's got to be the real deal.
You're telling me
Yeah.
they slashed false positives by 47%,
Okay, so that means...
which means their security teams
Yeah.
can focus on real threats instead of chasing ghosts.
Instead of chasing ghosts?
Yeah.
I like it.
Less time chasing digital shadows,
Right.
more time stopping the actual bad guys.
All right, so less time wasted.
Exactly.
More time actually doing productive things.
Yeah.
But what about the bottom line?
Well,
Did it actually save them money?
you bet it did.
Right.
They saved $12 million annually.
Whoa, okay.
And get this.
What?
They achieved that return on investment in just 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
That is a quick win.
Talk about a quick win.
Yeah. All right, so faster threat detection.
Uh-huh.
Fewer false alarms.
Yeah.
Serious cost savings.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to see the appeal here.
And it's not just JP Morgan Chase.
Okay.
We're seeing these similar success stories
Yeah.
across a variety of industries.
Okay.
Companies are experiencing a 73% faster threat detection rate on average.
Okay, so that means
And
they can stop the attacks in their tracks.
they can stop them in their tracks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because in the cyber world,
Yeah.
speed is everything.
Speed is key.
The faster you react,
Yes.
the less damage
Right.
that you're likely to suffer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we're also seeing an 82% improvement in response time,
Okay.
allowing for more effective mitigation.
So we've got faster detection,
Yeah.
faster response.
Faster response.
And we haven't even talked about the cost savings,
Yeah.
which is an average of 35%.
Huge cost savings.
This is starting to sound like a no-brainer.
Well, it's never quite that simple.
Okay.
But the potential benefits
Yeah.
are undeniable.
All right, so let's dive into how this is actually structured.
Sure.
The architecture behind
At
all
the
the
heart is what's called the AI security operating model.
Okay, fancy name.
Yeah.
Break it down for me.
Think of it as a 4-layer cake.
Okay, 4-layer cake.
All right.
I like cake.
So the first layer
Okay.
is what we call data ingestion,
Say ingestion.
where the system gathers security intel
Okay.
from all across your existing IT infrastructure.
So all the different pieces.
All the different pieces.
Like firewalls,
Okay.
intrusion detection systems, even those user activity logs.
Okay.
So it's gathering all of that valuable data.
So it's like a giant vacuum cleaner,
It is.
sucking up all the digital crumbs. That's a very colorful way to put it. But yes,
Okay, so
gathering all that data.
what happens in layer 2?
Layer 2 is where the AI processing happens.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is where the real brainiac stuff comes into play.
Okay, the brains of the operation.
Exactly. Sophisticated machine learning models
Right.
analyze all that ingested data.
Okay.
They're hunting for patterns,
Yeah.
anomalies
Okay.
that scream, hey, something fishy is going on here.
So it's like having a digital Sherlock Holmes.
It is.
Yeah.
Sniffing out those little clues
Yeah.
that a human might miss.
That a human would absolutely miss.
Especially given the sheer volume of data we're talking about.
It's impossible
It would be impossible.
for a human to go through all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so the AI
Yep.
has found something suspicious.
Right.
What happens next?
That's where layer 3 comes in.
Okay.
Response automation.
Okay.
So based on the AI's analysis,
Uh-huh.
The system can automatically trigger predefined actions to neutralize the threat.
So it's like a digital SWAT team.
You got it.
Yeah.
Ready to deploy at a moment's notice.
All right, so we're talking isolating infected devices,
We are.
blocking malicious traffic,
Yes.
patching vulnerabilities,
All in real time.
all without a human even having to do anything.
Without a human having to click a button.
That's impressive.
It is.
But it also sounds a little scary, like Skynet,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Autonomous.
Sure.
Where do the humans fit in all of this?
That's a critical question.
Yeah.
And it brings us to the fourth and final layer of our AI security cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Human oversight.
I was getting a little worried there.
Yeah.
I thought humans were going to be out of a job.
Well, the idea of a fully automated security system is tempting.
Sure.
Human expertise is still absolutely crucial.
Okay.
We need humans to interpret the AI's findings, make those tough judgment calls,
Yeah.
and handle situations that require a more nuanced approach.
Right. Okay, so it's not about...
Replacing humans.
It's about
empowering human security teams.
empowering humans to be more effective.
Got it.
Human oversight ensures that AI security systems operate within ethical and organizational boundaries,
Okay.
ultimately enhancing our ability to protect ourselves
Right.
in this wild digital world.
In this crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a partnership
Yeah.
between AI
It is. Humans and AI working together.
to hopefully create a more secure future.
Exactly. It's like we're giving our security teams superpowers with AI.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Of course, the
Whatever.
superheroes need rules and guidelines.
Of course, we don't want them going all rogue
Exactly.
and accidentally zapping the wrong server.
Right.
So let's talk about the rule book
Sure.
for AI security,
Yeah.
risk and compliance.
Exactly. We're dealing with sensitive data,
Right.
potentially high-stakes decisions.
Yeah.
So compliance is non-negotiable.
It's a must.
It is. We need to be aware of the major players
All right.
in the regulatory game.
Hit me with it.
All right, so first up,
Yeah.
we've got GDPR.
Okay. GDPR.
That's the European Union's data privacy law.
Okay.
Then there's CCPA,
CCPA California.
the California Consumer Privacy Act.
Okay.
And of course, we can't forget about HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act
For healthcare.
for protecting healthcare data.
Okay.
These regulations have very specific requirements for
Fine.
data handling
Right.
and security, and the penalties for non-compliance can be pretty hefty.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around with those guys.
No, you don't.
So those are the heavy hitters.
Those are the big ones.
But how do we actually measure risk
Yeah.
in AI security systems?
Oh,
Because it seems like a constantly moving target.
you're absolutely right. Risk assessment
Yeah.
is a very dynamic process,
Yeah.
but it's crucial for building a really robust security posture.
Okay.
So we need to evaluate potential threats. We need to pinpoint vulnerabilities
Okay.
and figure out the potential impact of a security breach.
So we're trying to figure out
Yeah,
worst case scenario.
exactly.
What could happen?
Yep.
And how bad could it
Exact-
actually be?
How bad could it be?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this involves several key steps.
Okay.
So we start by scoring the likelihood
Oh.
of a specific threat actually occurring.
So how likely is it that this is going to happen?
Exactly. Then we analyze the potential fallout
Okay.
if that threat were to actually become a reality.
If it did happen.
And of course, we need to assess our vulnerabilities,
Okay.
those weak spots in our systems,
Right. The holes in the armor.
exactly, that attackers could exploit.
So it sounds like a lot to keep track of.
It is.
How do we turn all that information
Yeah.
into action?
Well, that's where risk mitigation strategies come in.
Okay.
Based on what we learn from that risk assessment, we can develop and implement strategies
Right.
to minimize the likelihood and impact of those potential threats.
All right. So that might involve.
So this might involve implementing technical controls.
What
It
I-
might involve improving security processes
No.
or even providing training to employees.
So making sure that your people
Absolutely.
aren't the weak link.
People are often the weakest link,
Yeah.
and so you got to train them.
Right. Train them up. Make them security aware.
Exactly.
Right. So it's not just about
So it's not just
building walls.
It's not just about building walls. It's about training the people inside the walls.
To be vigilant.
Exactly.
Oh, but even with the best mitigation strategies,
Right.
we need a solid governance structure
We do.
to make sure that everything's running smoothly.
Smoothly and securely.
Yes.
Yes.
So what does a good governance model look like
Okay.
for AI security?
So think of it as a system of checks and balances.
Okay. Checks and balances. I like
We
that.
need buy-in from the top.
Okay. So from the C-suite?
Yeah, the board needs to understand the importance of AI security.
Right. They need to be on board.
Absolutely. And they need to provide strategic direction.
Okay.
We also need to establish very clear lines of accountability.
Okay, so who's responsible for what?
Exactly. Specific individuals
Yeah.
need to be responsible for the security and compliance of these AI systems.
Okay.
Then there's the technical side of governance,
Oh, wait.
making sure that these AI systems are designed and developed and deployed securely and ethically.
All right, so we've got
So we've got,
leadership buy-in.
yeah,
We've got
we've got the accountability
the accountability.
and the technical aspects.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the day-to-day operations.
Right.
You got to have some solid operational controls.
So those are the procedures.
These are the procedures and practices
that keep everything running
that keep things running smoothly and securely
on a day-to-day basis.
on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about having the right people,
the right people,
the right processes,
the right processes,
and the right oversight in place.
and the right oversight to make sure that it's being managed responsibly.
Okay, so now let's move on to
Yeah.
the nitty-gritty of compliance.
The nitty-gritty.
How do we prove that we're meeting
Right.
all those regulatory requirements?
Because it's not enough to just say, trust us, we're compliant.
Right. Trust me, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to show the receipts.
Yeah, you need to show the proof.
Exactly. So compliance is all about documentation,
Okay.
outlining your policies,
Uh-huh.
your procedures,
Uh-huh.
and your controls.
Okay, so having a paper trail.
I have paper trail.
Yeah, showing that.
Showing that you've got your ducks in a row.
You got it all in order.
Yeah.
We also need regular audits to evaluate
Okay.
how effective those measures actually are,
To make sure that it's all working.
to make sure it's working.
Yeah.
We need clear reporting frameworks
Okay.
to communicate security and compliance information to stakeholders.
Right.
And of course, we can't forget about
Yeah.
those incident response protocols.
Yeah, so if something bad does happen.
Yeah, if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
what's the plan?
What's the plan? You don't want to
You don't want to be figuring that out
be figuring it out
when it's happening.
when it's happening. Yeah, you got to have a plan in place
You got to have a plan.
ahead of time.
You got to be prepared.
So that involves things like
So this involves handling security breaches,
yeah.
minimizing the impact,
Yeah.
learning from your mistakes.
Right. So it's not just about preventing it.
It's not just about prevention.
It's about what you do when it does happen.
It's about how you respond
Right.
and how you learn from those incidents.
This is starting to feel like a lot.
It can feel overwhelming,
You can.
but remember, the goal is to harness the power of AI
Right.
while minimizing the risks.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where innovation and security work hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know, we talk a lot about AI potentially replacing jobs,
sure.
but it sounds like in security,
Yeah,
humans are still very much
very much in the driver's seat.
needed in the loop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
AI might be able to detect 300% more threats than traditional systems,
Okay.
but human insight is still indispensable.
Okay. So it's not about
It's not about
machines replacing humans.
a way about machines empowering humans.
I like that.
Yeah,
So it's more like a superhero team up?
it is,
Yeah.
than a robot takeover.
Okay, good. Because I was getting a little scared with the robot takeover thing.
I understand.
Okay. So tell me more about how
Yeah.
humans and AI
Yeah.
are working together in security operations.
So there are different models for this collaboration.
Okay.
One popular model is what we call augmented intelligence,
Augmented intelligence.
where AI acts like a superpowered assistant,
Okay.
providing security analysts
Yeah.
with real-time insights and recommendations.
So like a digital sidekick.
Think of it as giving your analysts a digital sidekick,
I like it.
like Batman with his trusty Alfred.
Right. But instead of
But instead of fetching tea and polishing the Batmobile,
yeah.
this AI is crunching data
Yeah.
and pointing out potential threats.
I like it.
Then there's supervised autonomy,
Supervised autonomy.
where AI systems have more freedom to make decisions.
Okay. A little bit more leeway.
But there's always a human supervisor,
Okay.
keeping a watchful eye.
So still got the training wheels on?
Kinda, yeah, like a self-driving car,
Okay.
but with a driver behind the wheel just in case.
That's in case.
Exactly. And then we have hybrid decision-making,
Hybrid.
where humans and AI work together more collaboratively.
Okay, so more of a team effort.
More of a team effort, yeah. Each bringing their unique strengths to the table.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
There's no one-size-fits-all.
Organizations need to figure out what's best for them.
Exactly. The key is to find that right balance
Yeah.
between human expertise and AI capabilities.
Makes sense.
to create a security operation that's both effective and adaptable.
Okay, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
You see these movies,
Uh-huh.
and they have these high-tech war rooms.
Yes.
And you've got these giant screens
Yeah.
flashing all this code,
Yeah.
people making these really intense decisions.
Right.
Are those real?
They might not be as dramatic as Hollywood portrays them,
Okay.
but decision support systems are very much a reality.
Okay, they are real.
They are real.
All right, so tell me, what are the key components?
All right, so first up, we've got risk assessment engines.
Okay.
These are constantly churning through data
Yeah.
to identify potential threats
Okay.
and assess their level of risk.
So it's like the early warning system,
Exactly.
alerting you
Letting you know.
to potential problems
Yeah.
that are bubbling up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then we have recommendation frameworks.
Okay.
These provide analysts with guidance
Yeah.
on how to respond to those threats
Okay.
based on predefined policies.
So it's not just,
So it's not just about identifying threats.
it's about telling you what to do.
It's about providing actionable steps
Yeah.
to address them.
Okay.
But we also need to allow for human intervention.
Of course, we're not ready to just hand over all control to the machines.
Not yet.
Okay.
So there are override protocols
Okay.
that give security analysts the power to step in
Right.
and adjust the AI's recommendations.
Right, because sometimes AI gets it wrong.
AI can get it wrong.
Yeah.
And so you want a human to be able to
Double check.
double-check override.
Use their own judgment
Exactly.
and to ensure accountability and transparency.
Right.
These systems also include audit trails,
They do.
so you can track.
You can track all actions taken
Yeah.
by both humans and the AI.
Right, so you have a record.
You have a record of everything that happened.
Yeah. Okay, so you can go back and see.
So you can go back and see how decisions were made,
Yeah.
identify areas for improvement.
Identify where things went wrong,
Yeah.
where things went right.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about training.
Okay.
We've got all these systems in place,
Right.
but who's going to operate them?
Who's going to run this thing?
Yeah.
Training is absolutely crucial for successful AI security implementation.
It is.
It's not enough to just install the technology.
Right.
We need to invest in developing the skills and knowledge
Right.
of the people who will be using it.
You wouldn't hand someone the keys?
You wouldn't just hand someone
A Formula One race car
the keys to a Formula One race car
without proper training.
without training them.
They'd crash and burn.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so what kind of training are we talking about?
So first and foremost, we need to build technical skills.
Oh, wait, technical skill.
Your security analysts
Yeah.
need to understand the inner workings of these AI systems.
Right? So they need to
You need to be fluent
they need to be fluent in the language of AI.
in both cybersecurity
Yeah.
and AI.
Okay.
But it's not just about technical proficiency. Analysts also need a deep understanding
Of the
Limitation.
the limitations of AI.
of these AI systems.
Okay, because AI is not perfect.
AI is not a silver bullet.
Right. It makes mistakes.
It makes mistakes.
So they need to be able to recognize that.
They need to recognize when AI might be getting it wrong
Yeah.
and know when to step in
And when to take control.
and take control.
Exactly.
Okay. We also need to train them on decision-making protocols.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Understanding the organization's policies and procedures
Mm-hmm.
for responding to different types of threats
Okay.
and how to use the AI system to support their decision making.
So they're not just blindly following what the AI is telling them.
They need to be able to think critically,
Yeah.
make sound judgments,
Yeah.
even under pressure.
Even when things are going haywire.
Exactly.
And what about those worst-case scenarios?
Right.
Like a major security breach.
That's where emergency procedures come in.
Emergency procedures.
Analysts need to be prepared to act quickly.
Decisively working in coordination with the AI system.
So it's about creating a team
It's about creating a team
of highly skilled,
of highly skilled, adaptable
adaptable security professionals.
security professionals who can work seamlessly with AI
Okay.
to protect the organization's assets.
Got it.
And keep in mind,
Yeah.
training isn't a one-time thing.
Oh, no?
It's an ongoing process.
Of course.
As AI technology evolves,
Yeah.
as new threats emerge,
Right.
we need to constantly update,
Keep them up to speed.
keep up to speed on the latest
Yeah.
threats and vulnerabilities and best practices.
Okay, so we've trained our team.
So we've trained our team.
How do we know
Yeah,
if all this investment in AI
right.
is actually paying off?
That's a great question.
Yeah. How do we measure success?
It's not enough to just implement the technology.
Right.
We need to track its performance
Yeah.
over time
Okay.
and fine-tune it
Yeah.
to maximize its effectiveness.
So it's like,
Okay.
think of it as performance optimization.
Performance optimization for your security operations.
Okay.
So data-driven decision-making
yeah,
for security.
Right, just like we're using data to drive decisions in other parts of the business.
Exactly.
Okay, so we need to...
We need clear metrics.
Yeah, what kind of metrics are we talking about?
Oh, we need to track decision accuracy.
Okay, so how often is the AI...
How often is the AI correctly identifying threats?
Right.
And how often is it crying wolf?
We don't want too many false positives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's response time.
Okay.
How quickly is the system detecting and responding to threats?
Yeah, because every second counts.
Every second counts in a cyber attack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We also need to monitor error reduction.
Okay.
Keeping tabs on the mistakes
Made by
both the AI and human analysts.
So you can identify
Help us identify
the weak spots in the system.
the weak spots in our processes, our training programs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And last but not least,
Okay.
we need to measure collaboration efficiency.
Okay.
Are humans and AI working together smoothly?
Right, because it's all about teamwork.
It's all about teamwork.
AI and humans working together.
Working together to achieve those security objectives.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get our hands dirty.
Let's get technical.
Let's talk about actually
Yeah.
building a secure AI system.
From the ground up.
Yeah.
It's a multifaceted process
Okay.
with several key steps.
All right, walk me through it.
Okay, so first we need to develop the AI models,
Okay.
the brains of the operation.
The brains.
And we need to train these models
Okay.
using massive data sets
Of
historical security data.
Okay.
So they can learn to recognize those patterns and anomalies.
So it's kind of like
It's kind of like,
showing the AI a million pictures of cats and dogs.
yeah,
So it can learn to tell the difference.
that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But instead of cats and dogs,
Instead of cats and dogs.
we're showing it malware,
Yeah.
phishing attacks, and other types of cyber threats.
So where do you
So where do we get
all this data?
all this data so
Yeah.
we can tap into a variety of sources? We
Okay.
can use our own security logs.
Okay, so that's all the data that you're already collecting.
Exactly.
Okay.
We can use threat intelligence feeds from security companies
Okay.
and even publicly available data sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've gathered the data.
All right, we got the data.
What's next?
Now comes the tricky part.
Oh.
We need to choose the right AI algorithms
Okay.
and train our models.
Right. So this is where
It's where
you need your data scientists.
data science expertise
Yeah.
is absolutely essential.
They're the wizards
They're the wizards
of the AI world.
of AI and machine learning.
Right. And once the models are trained,
Yep.
you can't just assume they're perfect.
We can't just assume they're perfect.
No.
We need to put them through rigorous validation.
Oh.
Make sure that they're accurate
Uh-huh.
and reliable.
Right. Because we don't want them
We don't want to deploy a system
giving us bad information.
that's going to flood us with a false positive
Yes.
or even worse, misgenuine threats.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse.
That's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also need to establish a very robust testing protocol
Okay.
to ensure that these models are performing as expected
Under pressure.
under different scenarios.
Different situations.
Yes.
Okay, so we've built...
So we built our models,
we validated them.
validated them.
What's next?
Now we need to implement security controls,
Okay.
those measures that we put in place
Yeah.
to protect our systems and data.
We're talking about...
We're talking about things like firewalls,
Okay. The usual suspects.
the usual suspect,
Intrusion detection system.
intrusion detection systems,
Access control.
process controls,
All that good stuff.
all that good stuff. But we also need to consider
Okay.
security controls that are specifically designed for AI systems.
Okay, so like what kind of stuff?
Like, how do we protect our AI models from adversarial attacks?
Okay, adversarial attacks. What's that?
So imagine someone deliberately trying to manipulate
Right.
or deceive our AI models
Okay.
by feeding them malicious input.
So it's like tricking the AI
So it's like tricking the AI
into thinking that a cat is a dog.
into thinking a cat is a dog,
But with...
but with much more serious consequences.
Right, like much higher stakes.
Much higher stakes.
Yeah.
And these attacks can be incredibly sophisticated,
Okay.
difficult to detect.
So we want to make sure
We want to make sure our AIs...
that our AI models are tough enough
Yeah.
to withstand those attacks.
Okay, so what else?
Now let's talk about API security.
API security, okay?
So APIs are the interfaces
Okay.
that allow different components of our AI system to communicate
Okay.
and exchange information.
So they're like the messenger.
They're like the message running back and forth between...
running back and forth between different parts of the system. So
Okay.
it's crucial to secure these APIs.
Okay, so how do we do that?
We need to implement strong authentication protocols.
Okay.
We want to make sure that only authorized users
Right.
and systems can access our APIs.
Makes sense.
And we can use rate limiting
Rate limiting.
to prevent those denial of service attacks.
So that's limiting the number of requests.
Exactly.
So it doesn't get overwhelmed.
So it doesn't get overwhelmed.
Okay. What else?
We need to validate all input
Okay.
to our API.
So making sure the data.
Making sure that the data being sent to the API is clean and safe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No malware sneaking in.
No malware. And finally, we need to encrypt
Okay.
all sensitive data that's transmitted through our APIs.
So it's protected.
Get protected
If somebody does manage to intercept it.
from eavesdropping and tampering.
Okay. So we've covered
We've covered.
AI model development.
Yeah.
We've talked about security controls.
We've talked about security controls.
We've talked about API security. What's the last piece of the puzzle?
Last piece of the puzzle is infrastructure setup.
Infrastructure. Okay.
So we need to build the underlying infrastructure that's going to support
That's going to support the whole thing.
our entire AI security system.
Right. So we're talking about
We're talking about
hardware,
software, networking resources.
networking, all of it.
All of it.
And this infrastructure needs to be secure,
Of course.
scalable, and reliable.
It's got to work.
It's got to work.
All right, so walk me through some key considerations.
So first, we need to choose the right cloud architecture.
Okay, so we're talking about the cloud.
Cloud computing provides the flexibility
Yeah.
and the scalability.
The cloud is so hot right now.
It is.
Yeah.
We need that to support our AI security operations.
So leveraging the power of the cloud
Exactly.
to host your AI model.
Host our models, store our data,
Yeah.
run our security applications.
Okay.
And we also need to consider edge computing.
Edge computing.
Edge computing.
So we talked about that a little bit before
We did.
with IoT,
Yeah.
but it sounds like a bigger trend
The bigger trend than just IoT.
across the board.
Yeah.
Edge computing allows us to process data closer to the source,
Okay.
which is essential for real-time threat detection
Okay.
and response.
So you got your cloud architecture.
So we got the cloud,
You got your edge computing.
we got the edge.
What else?
We need to implement robust network security measures.
Okay, so we're talking about
We're talking about firewalls, intrusion detection systems.
all the best practices.
All the best practices for network security.
Yeah.
And we need to establish a comprehensive monitoring system.
Okay.
We need to keep an eye on the health
Yeah.
and performance of our infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
Be on the lookout for any suspicious activity.
So it's like a 24/7
It is.
security detail.
24/7 security detail for your digital assets.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, so now let's talk about the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room.
All that data
All that data.
that these AI security
The
systems
systems are processing.
are processing
A mind-blowing 1.7 terabytes of data.
every minute.
Every minute.
That's like drinking from a fire hose of data.
It is a fire hose of data.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to manage that?
Yeah. How do we manage it?
It all starts with building a privacy by design framework.
Privacy by design.
So that means we're thinking about privacy
Yeah.
at every stage of the system's design and development.
So it's not an afterthought.
It's not an afterthought.
Yeah.
It's baked into the DNA
It's baked into the DNA.
of the system from the very beginning.
I like that analogy.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So this framework includes
What does it include?
several key elements.
Okay.
So first, we've got data minimization.
Data minimization.
We only collect the data
Only what's absolutely necessary.
that's absolutely necessary for the system to function.
No data hoarding just in case.
No hoarding allowed.
Okay.
We also need to implement purpose limitation.
Purpose limitation.
We use the data only for the specific purpose it was collected for.
Okay, so you can't repurpose customer. It feels like AI security is no longer a question of if, but when.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's really becoming a core part of a modern security strategy.
And it's not just in those industries that we've talked about.
Right.
Finance and manufacturing.
Exactly.
Like healthcare.
Healthcare, retail,
Energy. Pretty much every industry.
Pretty much every
You
industry.
can think of.
Yeah, AI is everywhere.
AI is everywhere, and the potential is limitless.
Yeah, it's kind of like AI is becoming this digital guardian
I like that.
for our interconnected world.
It's a great analogy, but remember,
Yeah,
even the most powerful guardian needs the right training and guidance.
of course. Right? We can't just unleash it
Exactly.
and hope for the best.
We need to be strategic.
We got to think about the human element.
Yeah.
The processes, the culture.
All the things that make an organization work.
All those things that make an organization tick.
Yeah, and that's where those real-world success stories
Absolutely.
from companies like JP Morgan and Tesla,
Those are great examples.
but they're so valuable.
They show us what it takes to make AI security work.
Yeah?
It's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about integrating it into the fabric of the organization.
So a true collaboration.
It is.
AI and humans working together
Working together.
to make a more secure future.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
AI is evolving at breakneck speed.
Breakneck speed it is.
That's next.
So what's next? What's got you excited?
What's on the horizon for AI security?
Well, one area that's generating a lot of buzz
Okay.
is quantum computing security.
Quantum computing security.
Quantum computing.
Okay, now that sounds like science fiction.
It does sound like science fiction.
Yeah.
But it's becoming a reality, and it has the potential to really revolutionize a lot of fields,
Like
including cybersecurity.
cybersecurity.
Okay, so how does that work?
So how does quantum computing impact security?
Yeah.
Well, both for better and for worse.
Okay.
Quantum computers are incredibly powerful machines.
Yeah.
Capable of solving certain types of problems
Okay.
exponentially faster than traditional computers.
Okay.
And guess what?
What?
That includes cracking the encryption algorithms
Oh, no.
that we use today
Right.
to protect our data.
So all of our current security could
It's
be
a real concern.
because our current security measures could become obsolete.
Right.
But here's the silver lining.
Okay.
Quantum computing can also be harnessed
Okay.
to create new
Okay.
ultra-secure encryption methods.
So it's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's a potential threat,
Right.
but also a potential savior.
Okay, so it's a race against time
It is a race against time.
to make sure that...
To develop those quantum-resistant security solutions
Right.
before quantum computers become powerful enough to break everything.
To break everything we have.
Exactly.
All right, so what else is going on?
What else is cooking in the world of AI security?
Yeah.
We're seeing incredible advancements in AI models themselves.
Okay, so they're getting better,
They're getting better.
smarter.
Researchers are developing algorithms
Yeah.
that can detect even the most subtle and complex threats.
So things that they would have missed?
Things that they would have missed a few years ago.
Okay.
We're also seeing a shift toward edge computing in security.
Edge computing, we talked about that.
You did.
Seems to be a theme.
It is.
Yeah.
Deploying AI models closer to where that data is being generated allows for faster threat detection and response.
Okay. And another trend.
Another important trend to keep an eye on is the rise of zero trust architecture.
Zero trust.
Zero trust.
Okay, what is that?
It's a security model that assumes that no user or device can be trusted by default.
Okay, so not even
And those inside the network.
inside the network, so like
It's like trust, but a verify.
trust but verify, or in this
Maybe,
case,
oh, maybe don't trust.
just verify.
Just verify.
Okay,
Every user and device needs to be authenticated,
Yeah.
authorized every time they try to access resources.
So a big shift
It's a big shift
from how we used to do things,
from traditional security models.
where it was like, okay,
Yeah, once you were inside,
once you're in you're good.
you're good.
But now
now,
it's different.
it's a different world.
Yeah.
Threats can come from anywhere,
Right, inside or outside?
inside or outside.
So zero trust makes sense.
Zero trust is becoming essential.
Okay, so we've got quantum computing.
You've got quantum computing.
We've got smarter AI models.
We've got smarter AI models.
Edge computing, zero trust.
Edge computing, zero trust.
A lot going on.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot to keep track of.
But it's an exciting time to be in cybersecurity.
It is exciting,
It's a very exciting time to be in cybersecurity.
but also kind of overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming,
Yeah.
but technology is just one piece of the puzzle.
What are the other pieces?
We need to focus on building the right capabilities within our organizations to effectively implement and manage these systems.
That's training,
processes,
all that stuff.
policies, procedures,
Yeah.
fostering a culture of security awareness.
So it's not just about buying the shiny new AI tool.
It's not just about buying the tool. It's
And
about
it's investing in your people
investing in your people
and your processes
and making sure that
and making sure
your AI security strategy
aligns with your overall business goals.
aligns with your business objective.
Like it's all one big ecosystem.
Security can't be an isolated function.
Right. It's got to work.
It's got to be woven into the fabric of the organization.
Yeah. Make it everybody's responsibility.
Everybody's responsibility, from the CEO
To the intern.
to the intern.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody plays a role.
All right. And of course, stay informed
Stay informed.
about emerging threats and vulnerabilities.
The bad guys never sleep.
The bad guys never sleep.
Neither can we.
It's a constant battle.
It is a constant battle.
Yeah, to stay ahead of the curve.
But it's a battle worth fighting.
It is.
The stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah.
Potential consequences are devastating.
All right, so for our listeners out there who are ready to get started,
Yeah, where's a good place to start?
where's a good place to start with AI security?
Well, begin by taking stock of your organization's current security posture.
Okay.
Figure out where AI can make the biggest impact.
All right.
There's some great resources available
Okay.
to help guide you.
Like what kind of resources?
Things like assessment templates,
Okay.
ROI calculators,
Uh-huh.
project frameworks,
Yeah.
security checklists,
Okay.
and implementation guides.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll make sure to include links to those
that's great.
in the show notes.
Excellent. And I also encourage you to connect with AI security experts.
Yeah.
Attend industry events.
Okay.
Stay up to date
Stay up to date.
on the latest trends and best practices.
So continuous learning,
Continuous learning and adaptation.
it's all about learning.
It is, because the AI security landscape is constantly evolving.
It is.
So be prepared to be a lifelong student.
Well, this has been
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
an eye-opening
Yeah.
dive into AI security.
Absolutely.
I'm walking away feeling excited,
I am too.
but also a little bit cautious.
That's a good balance.
It is a good balance,
I
right?
think so.
It's a powerful tool.
It is powerful.
It's got to be used responsibly.
Responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, we don't want to create Skynet.
No Skynet.
Yeah, so we got to think about
We need to be mindful
the potential downsides.
of the potential downsides.
Make sure these systems are benefiting humanity,
That's right.
not harming it.
Benefiting humanity.
Right.
Not harming it.
Okay, it's been a pleasure
It has been a pleasure.
talking with you today
Likewise.
about AI security.
I've really enjoyed this conversation.
I hope our listeners are feeling
Yeah.
energized
Me too.
and informed
At all.
about this important topic.
It's an important topic,
Yeah.
and it's only going to become more important
Right.
in the years to come.
Absolutely. And remember,
Yes,
the future of AI security is in our hands.
it is.
Let's work together to build a safer,
Yes.
more resilient digital world
I agree.
for everyone
To a safer future.
to a safer future.